Here's the RS6.
Thank you. Welcome to the first episode of 2019.
It is, isn't it?
Episode 14.
14.
It is 14.
So we've had the rally car special of the New Year, in between Christmas and New Year.
We did that sort of tided us over, didn't it?
Yeah.
So we had a little break with that as well.
But following up on that, we do actually go a little bit deeper into one of the particular cars that's featured there. But yeah, we've got quite a bag today, haven't we?
We have managed to cobble together some unusual ones for our first episode of this year. We have, haven't we? Yeah. So what we got first?
The very old.
The very
The very old. So yeah, this is a car that's almost as old as me. Give a little bit older than me, so yeah.
A lot older than me.
Well, this is a car from 1973, featured in the rally car special. It is actually a little bit more on the SAAB 96. So,
It is. It's a bit more in depth with this one, and as we said, the car is as old, if not. We're older than the car, actually.
Yeah,
but
it was great to film,
anyway.
wasn't it? And, it was great to film, and hope you enjoy it.
today you find us in St Anne's.
We won't say sunny St Anne's, will we?
Not sunny.
As you can see by the hats.
And we have
I hope we're not hiding this from the camera from you.
Yeah, I
We're
hope
not
not.
intentionally doing this.
a SAAB 96. And this is a replica of the car that took...
I think I'll try this one. Is it Stig Bloomquist or something like that?
Bloomquist.
It's a bit of a tongue twister, but it is signed.
By Stick Bloomquist.
It is. It's signed it in two places. You might just be able to see it here. But it's also signed on the wing.
And for the people who are not sure, Malcolm, who is Stick?
He was one of the SAAB rally drivers who won in 1971 in a car very similar to this. This one has been built from scratch as a replica of that car, and the story behind that is quite interesting as well. When you look at the car, it's hard to figure out its actual history. It started out green and was actually found in a scrapyard in a corner. It's in fairly good condition, so it was chosen as a donor for this particular project to recreate the 1971 rally car winner. It was taken to Malbrad SAAB in Huddersfield, who are a SAAB specialist in the older cars that are harder to find parts for. The car arrived as a rolling shell and was very quickly stripped back to its bare metal, was then sent off to a specialist who applied the final coats of paint. Then the car was carefully rebuilt, with a roll cage added for the rallying stages. As many original parts as possible were used, but in places they had to be a little bit creative.
Personally, I've not spent a lot of time around classic cars, so it's really, really nice to get a chance to have a good nosy round one and see what it's like, really.
Yep. Let's go and have a look. Fantastic. Oh, now I'm stuck.
That's it. There's two in from the side as well, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on, no, you pulled it out. It goes through the seat
Ah,
and
yeah.
then over the top of your thigh.
And there's going
and
there.
it clips in there.
So it's a 5-point.
There's one at the other side.
Oh.
Comes through the seat.
Yeah.
And then the two over your shoulders.
And
That's it.
I have to say, this is something I've always wanted to do.
You're as safe as houses now. That's another thing.
Is that an emergency fuel cut-off there, is it? Is that an emergency fuel cut-off between the seats, or...?
That's a fire extinguisher.
The fire extinguisher, yeah.
Pull and everything goes off.
And the gearbox, what's gear? I thought to ask what gearbox is in it. Presuming a manual of some description. It'd be a column change, won't it? Yeah.
I have a video of Stig Blomqvist showing his son how to use this, because his son, believe it or not, had never seen a column change car before.
Yeah.
That's first.
Yeah.
And then straight down second.
Yeah.
And away's third. And down's... no, the other way around, isn't it? That's first. Second. Third. Fourth. And reverse, you pull it right up the top and down.
Wow. So it's a 4-speed column change manual, basically.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
It's got freewheel on it as well, but I never use freewheel.
Right.
Because I like the edge of braking.
Yeah. How I've been reliably informed is that all these Saabs that were delivered to the UK market had a oblong headlight grille. This one, you can see all the entire piece here, the round headlight grille, has actually come from Louisiana in the United States. This is for US market cars. The lights themselves, obviously they only have to find some lights in order to fit that, because this is the grille that the rally car would have come with, not the oblong bit. I've actually come out of a Mark 1 Golf GTI.
Would you believe? It's had donor parts and things from nearly everywhere we can think of, hasn't it?
But looking at them, you can see, can't you? You can see how they would go into a Golf.
Yeah, now you think about the Mark 1 Golf and study it for a second in your mind. You can see these.
You can picture that, course.
Yeah, but you wouldn't at first.
You wouldn't. And the other thing to mention, of course, is that you spotted this, Martin.
I did, yeah.
What about that?
The SAAB badge with the plane.
This little plane logo there underneath.
Some people might not actually know, but SAAB manufactures planes.
I was just about to come in and ask you that.
Yeah, Malcolm was just going to come in and query that, but yeah, as you may remember, as Malcolm touched on with the SAABs we did before, the bonkers advertising where they basically made out that all their SAABs was fighter jets, and you come to an end of a cliff, and next minute a jet was up in there, and they took it so literally, didn't they?
Yeah.
That they had the night panel button on the SAABs where you could shut your dash off practically.
Yeah, but basically Saab did start off manufacturing aeroplanes.
So that's where it all came from. But
the logo there.
the Bonkers series sort of continued, isn't it? It's just in case you're doing a bombing run on M4 or something like that, you could switch all your dash off.
This engine in the Saab 986 then?
Yes,
Martin.
I do notice about this engine how far forward it is slung to the front of the car.
Now this is an advantage for the car, isn't it? Because the engine slung right out over the front is going to aid grip, isn't it? So this is going to enable this car to go around corners and rallies a lot faster than
I think this was the car's advantage, wasn't it? Purely of this thing, it had the excellent grip.
Yeah.
How it were all balanced with the engine. But one thing I noticed with this engine, and I spotted it straight away, was this little cap, this little fuel flicker, and it's got a Ford emblem on it.
Ford badge, yeah, no.
And I thought, hang on a minute, have they had to source this because it's the only thing they can get and it's Ford logo and stamped? But it turns out this is a Ford engine.
As we've been informed by the owner, it is a Ford engine. It is a V4 design layout, I believe, as well. So that's quite an interesting layout. You hear of V6s and V8s, not so much a V4, but yeah.
That's a good one. It's a bit of an Aladdin's cave car. You keep looking at things and finding things. And
I think you could look at this all day and just find little details here and there that you didn't notice first of all. That
it really takes me back. I even like the touch of this sweet.
I think this is a really nice article here. You see there. The owner of the car in that photo there, and you can see more of the interior.
You do. You see everything being done, as I pointed out, that original number plate which we saw on the back.
The suspension components there. He goes into a lot of detail. Obviously, if you read the article, we'll be able to tell. But even the pictures tell a story themselves, don't they?
They do. Yeah. As the car, every little piece you look at the car, there's a story behind it, and all this just really backs up everything we've been discussing and filming today, and it's just a wonderful history feature, isn't it, to see all this?
I think we want to be doing more cars like this on OverDrive. I think it would be fantastic.
It just shows what you can find. It's a lovely hidden gem, this, and you can see with all this, just look at what went into it. It really is. So that's all that.
That's all literally. So it's not just a car that you see, it's all the history and goes
everything backs it up. All this proof, right down to there's these sheets here. We've got all this on about it. Telling you more history about the car itself.
This is all written by the owner of the car.
Yeah. So much to this car, isn't there? How we've been told how certain parts have come from certain countries and so on, and
so much has been sourced from overseas in terms of parts.
it's one of those cars, every time you see something about it and mention it, there's a little tale behind it. There's all sorts of things about this car. It's a lovely car to see, and it's really interesting. I think it's one of those cars you keep finding things out about all the time. It's a bit of an Aladdin's cave car. You keep looking at things and finding things, and
I think you could look at this all day and just find little details here and there that that you didn't notice first of all. That just
it really takes me back as well. I even like the touch of this in Sweden because the windscreen. So
There's everything you need there in all sorts of places just to show its range and history.
it is. I mean, of course, you know, and it's not just about the rally history. This car it has its own history. It delivered new to the UK. It's a UK market car.
I think it's been a bit of a journey, hasn't it, for the car to
drive, of course,
come
and
to
that's
as we
its
see it
original
now.
plate. The original rally car, I believe, is in the museum in Sweden as well. So that's really nice to find out.
Temperatures might feel like we're there, but
We feel a bit like Sweden today, I have to say, don't we?
but it was worth it.
It was.
Okay, well that was the last of the SAAB 9.6 feature. Really nice one to film, that one, guys.
It was.
Moving on now to an Audi RS6, so it's a lot more modern, a lot quicker. There's a bit of a debate with this one. I put it out there that I thought this was the best daily driver.
I had to be convinced on this one, and I won't tell you if I was or not. You'll find out at the end of the video.
See if I can convince Martin.
Took some convincing, but we'll find out if it was what I thought an ultimate daily driver as well. But at the end of the day,
Because I think you had some different ideas first of all, didn't you?
I did, but I will say it's a whopping car. So see what you make of this.
Here's the RS6.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, well, what do we have here? We have an Audi RS6 Avant, which I think is the ultimate daily driver, and it's my job today to convince Martin to think the same.
May take some convincing this, but we shall see.
Well, first off, as we've got the bonnet open, we'll have a look under here. What we have here is a 4 litre bi-turbo V8. Now you can get this in a number of different power guises. This one is the standard figure, which is 552 horsepower, which is not exactly slow as...
You can't say that. You said that's the standard one.
That is the standard one. Well, the reason is because you can get what they call a performance pack, which pumps that up to 605 horsepower.
Right.
Okay. The thing that strikes me is actually how compact this is for a V8.
I was just going to say, you think V8, size of the performance and all that, you expect a lot of the engine. We've got a massive bonnet cover and that, you think that's going to be massive. But then we look at this and it does seem, for the nature size of the car, fairly compact, doesn't it? It's hidden, obviously, under your bonnet and all that, but look at the detail in there, this cover.
Yeah.
Just the cover, but look at all the detail in the colours that's gone onto it. And we've got a massive bonnet.
Yeah.
And when you open it up, it's all sort of impressive. It is all very close together.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to even start working on it and getting my hands in there.
I think you'd have to take a lot of this apart to be...
I suppose a lot of engines are like that.
Yeah.
But it's still an impressive thing, which I find is under wraps at the end of the day. It's covered in it.
Yeah.
Expect bigger.
Yeah.
But that's when you do it's a V8 and think, oh, it's going to be massive, there's going to be brakes everywhere now.
Yeah.
And we're down to something like this. But
Yeah.
it is what it is, but I like all this.
It certainly gives it a level of character having a V8.
To the effort to do that for an engine cover.
Yeah.
I think that says a lot about Audi.
Yeah.
Just that.
And obviously you've got all that torque, all that power. All the power you ever need. Like I said, this is the standard version, but 550 horsepower is not exactly...
So far I'm impressed with that.
Yeah.
So it's...
We're looking good. My argument is looking good so far. Should we take a look at the rest of the car?
We shall, yeah.
I think the main thing that strikes me as well with this car, and it's not just the fact it's an RS6, it's just the quality of the materials of an Audi.
Well, again, as I pointed out, like with Audi R8 and so on, German build quality. You can't knock it.
You can't.
Sometimes it can be dull, but you can't knock the build quality.
Yeah, I mean, if I was going to level of criticism, I would probably say you'd like a bit more character, but you can't argue with the quality.
Well, there's little touches, obviously, that, like they did on the engine bay, so many colours and things and detail going on, and then they've continued the theme, like on the gear shift here.
Yeah.
One thing I would have liked to have seen, and they are on the backs of the seats, it's logoed, but there's sort of logo that just stenciled in the colour, and I would have liked to have seen a bit of colour with them to make them stand out.
Some of the red in the badge there, yeah. In terms of gadgets, obviously it's an RS6, it's absolutely loaded as standard with all gadgets. Obviously you've got the screen there that does flip out and come upwards, show you different functions there, your radio station and navigation.
I do like the idea of that it's neatly kept away.
Yeah. I think it's gives it a cleaner look, obviously better for security as well. But yeah, it's a lovely idea, especially when you've got your navigation screen up there and everything else. It's really good indeed. Obviously you've got your climate control down here, of course, dual zone as you'd expect, heated seats in the front. You've also got all your other functions such as traction control off.
Yeah.
Obviously to turn off the parking sensors, as in front and rear of course.
I like the idea of being able to turn your parking sensors off.
That is adjustment for your, I suppose it's for the steering wheel function, so you can have sport or normal or that type of thing. Obviously you've got your controls on the steering wheel there, heated steering wheel there on this one. But I like the perforations in the leather, that gives it a really nice feel, and actually having a small steering wheel like this, I don't know what it is, but maybe it's just me, but it seems to make the car feel a bit more nimble.
Don't get me wrong, it could actually complement the car, right?
So this car is just coming up to 3 years old now, so some things in it obviously you're going to see a bit dated. I know that has been mentioned on social media with the current RS6. People sort of said, well, it's looking a bit old now, but it's about to be replaced. Also, you've got your flappy paddles for the gearbox.
Yeah, flappy paddles in this.
DSG gearbox, of course, twin clutch. So shifts are really instant, quick. Moving on to the door there, you've got your memory functions for your seats, 2 different sets of memory functions. A lot on this side.
The passenger's a bit, well, he's got he can lock and unlock this, but
obviously your mirrors there, power fold function for the either side.
I don't like this sort of suede stuff going on. It looks good.
Yeah.
Maybe, and again, I'm being very picky today, but maybe could it have been another colour just to break it a little bit? Or that could have been a bit too much. Who knows? Again,
I think it suits the colour scheme of the car.
I don't like it's there rather than just plastic.
Yeah. Lights, as you'd expect, you've got all your auto light functions down there. You've got rain sensing wipers, the sensor's obviously behind there for that. And of course, moving up to the roof, the fabulous panoramic sunroof.
I think at the end of the day, I think a car like this sheer size would look strange with a standard roof. I think they've got everything right with this, they have.
And of course, the main important thing, the lovely Quattro badge.
Yeah, we've seen this on the Audis before. They really like to advertise the fact of Quattro. Again, it's something I want to see. They always wonder if the car, it's Quattro. You expect it.
It just helps with the performance level of this car. This car's packing a lot of power, and that four-wheel drive system just helps put that power safely and effectively on the ground.
I have a thing about Audis in general. I like the way they sound, most of them.
Yeah.
I can guarantee this will be a right beast.
Well, here we are in the back, Martin. Thoughts?
Straight away, we're not what we call very short people, neither of us, but where these seats are positioned, I'd be comfortable on a long journey with this. I have got loads of leg room. I wouldn't get stressed or tired of anything at the back here. No. I really wouldn't.
And you do have some amenities as well. So down here, of course, I've actually got heated seats in the back here as well, Martin, as well as the front.
No, that is. I think I don't see much in cars. Heated seats in the back, that's really good.
It is starting to become more common. We also have our own climate control.
Again, I like that as well. It gives the backseat passengers the chance to actually do things.
It's got the full ventilation there, or your own climate control separate to the front.
I see you've even got vents here up on the pillars.
Yeah, this is generally a very comfortable place to be. Lots of leather, lots of suede.
It is, it's exactly everything that you'd find. Yeah. This armrest, well, it's probably like putting down a double bed. It's massive. I really think this car would be a totally different thing inside if this was just all roof.
Yeah.
I really do. This actually is a very good feature.
It makes the car, doesn't it? Yeah.
It does.
Well, that's the back seat. last but not least, I suppose we should take a look at the boot, seeing as this is
We may as well see what
the ultimate daily driver, in my
There's going
opinion.
to be some nice sides to this boot, but we will take a look at it.
The boot of the RS6.
What? And I was shouting for a lost driver in there because it's cabinets, it's massive, isn't it? It really, you may not actually think it when you look at it like this and you see the seats and everything, but then when you open it up, you go, hello!
It is absolutely cavernous.
It's massive, it
Absolutely
really
cavernous.
is. And I'd be impressed trying to get stuff in there.
I
I wish I had this boot recently for some of this year because I was up to.
Would be useful for you, wouldn't it, at the
Would be
moment?
very useful.
Also, the wheels, the two-tone wheels, diamond cut wheels,
I really like these.
painted black inserts.
So go on then. I've got to be swayed if I would have this as my daily driver.
I think it's probably the ultimate daily drive, provided that is, of course, so you don't need something for going off-road. With the four-wheel drive and everything, it would actually be very good in challenging sort of weather
For
conditions.
me, there's a few things now that I found when I got on the insides of life that I didn't realise when I stood out here. I'm looking straight down the line of the car, and the first thing that I'm catching is the wheel arches.
Yeah.
They're reminiscent of when I had my Focus RS. The
Yes,
And it's little touches that give a car more road presence, the flared wheel arches,
The-
everything like that, and it's got it.
yeah, it will give it brilliant handling, especially in challenging weather. If you were going to have a trip across Europe in winter or something like that, this car would be absolutely
It's
perfect.
like a tank,
Yeah.
you'd be really safe in this as well.
And that's the point of the four-wheel drive as well. It's not just about putting all that power on the ground, it's about safety.
Well, I think as an ultimate driver then you see, you're alright for all weather conditions as well. You're going to travel in style and safety and luxury in this. You've got all your bells and whistles you can ask for. And for me personally, it's how a car makes you feel. And the way this car is on the outside and the road presence it has, I would enjoy driving this on a daily basis. So I will agree with you, Craig. I think it is an ultimate daily driver.
Well, that was the RS6, and now you have your answer. Was Martin converted? In fact, it was the best daily driver. See what you think as well. Put your opinions out there and let us know what you think. Do you think it's the best? Moving on now to we do tend to do these each episode, a discussion feature. And the topic of this month's discussion, chaps,
It's an easy one.
is one that I think we're probably all going to quite enjoy. It's our top 3 cars that we've all owned ourselves in the past. I've got my top 3, you've got yours. I think you've decided on yours now, haven't you, Mel?
Kind of.
Do you want to know how long it took me when I asked the question to think of this? About 4 seconds?
Yeah.
Considering the number of cars you've had.
Considering I've had 21 cars.
But this is the discussion feature, and obviously once you watch the video, it'd be great to hear your feedback as well. What has been your favourite cars that you've owned, and reasons for that as well, positive and negative. So here's a discussion. The topic of this month's discussion is, as I mentioned, the top 3 cars that we've all owned in the past. Now, should be quite a nice one to do this. Who wants to kick off with their top 3 cars?
I think you should.
Me?
Yeah.
Do you want me to run through all of them, or should we? Yeah, better do.
Yeah, just do
Yeah.
1 to 3.
So, this has been, the first 2 I know, the first and second place cars. I've had roughly about 16 or 17 cars over the time that I've been driving. Quite a difficult one for me, this. I really, really mulled over this. To the car at number 3, the Rover 25. Now, a lot of you are probably going to laugh at this, but I absolutely love that car. We featured it on OverDrive quite a bit, as you've seen. The regular viewers will know. I had the car for 9 months until the engine decided it didn't want to be an engine anymore. But during that 9 months, it really endeared itself to me. I used it for work, used it for all sorts. It was just such a lovely, comfortable car to drive. You did get a lot of head turning with it as well. So obviously Rovers like that, especially ones in condition like that, are getting a bit rare these days, and you did turn a few heads. Absolutely love the car. Great handling as well. Really, for saying it was a Rover version, not the MG version, it really did handle excellent. Can't fault it. Absolutely love the car. There's something about it that really endeared itself to me. I'm a bit Rover biased anyway. But yeah, it was a really nice car, great looking, handled well, and pretty nippy as well. So that was it. The Rover 25. Absolutely loved it. I'm determined to get another one, as I've mentioned before on OverDrive. Second position car. This is going to surprise a lot of you. You probably think I'm barking mad. because it's not fast, it's not expensive, and it's not fancy in any way. But
Trevant?
a bit better than that.
Okay. Lather?
Keep going.
I think you better just put us out of as
sorry viewers. Ignore Malcolm. I had 3 of these, and it is a Mark 1 Ford KA. I had a 53 plate, which is a 2003, I had a 2006 car, and I had a 58 plate, which was very late 2008, pretty much the last registration for them before Ford replaced it with the Mark 2.
The one I like.
They were all, actually, funny enough, I've never met these guys, they were all sort of Bogo base spec cars. None of them had a lot of features you could get on even a Mark 1 kit, like aircon, leather, electric windows, that type of stuff. Every one of them was a Bogo basic version. But do you know what? I think that kind of, in some ways, made it a better car because there was less to go wrong.
True, yeah.
Less weight as well.
Less weight. All of them were faultlessly reliable. I mean, I think the only one that broke down was the 53 plate one, and I wasn't driving it, it was my other half that was driving it at the time. And that had some kind of, I think it was a little head gasket issue, that type of thing, but we had that sorted out in no time. But generally speaking, they've been almost faultlessly reliable over the time that I've had them. I did a huge amount of miles in them. And funnily enough, with the KAs, they were, although they were designed as a city car, they were absolutely great on the motorway. And I think that was mentioned in the press when they were first came out. The advantages that they had was that they share a similarity actually perhaps with the 205.
Right.
Okay.
In the sense that the 205 and the KA both had what you call a wheel in each corner design.
Yeah.
So the wheels were spread as far out as possible.
Yeah.
It aids handling for stability. Although the KA is a small car, the wheels spread out so it handled better. It gave it stability. It also gave it quite a nice ride as well for a small car. It made it much more comfortable. Absolutely great cars. I absolutely loved them. Which brings us on to number 1 position for me. Now, again, you might think I'm a bit mad with this one, because it's a pretty normal car, but my favourite car I've ever had was my 14 plate Vauxhall Corsa 1.4 SRI.
I can understand it with the SRI.
The SRI, as you know, featured what they called the VXR styling kit, although it was different to the actual VXR, but it had a slight body kit from the factory, it had 17-inch wheels. The one that I had came out of the factory standard with tinted glass on the back as well, which they dropped for the facelifted SRI, and they also dropped the body kit as well. You had to buy the SRI and BX line to get the body kit.
Okay.
Mine also featured, and I know a lot of you will know, I'm a fan of these, the optional panoramic roof, which opened up and slid back. Very expensive option, like about a £600 option when it was new, and it came with a height adjustable passenger seat as well. You had the driver's seat adjustable. If you had the sunroof, it had adjustable passenger seats, obviously you needed to be able to lower it because of the headroom, and some matte reading lights and a couple of other things as well. So really enjoyed that car. It wasn't the fastest one I ever had, I think it was about 100 horsepower.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the most practical thing in the world. It wasn't perfect. The couple of things I didn't like about it was that the getting in the back was a bit awkward. And it wasn't just because it was a 3-door, just because the seat mechanism was really a bit temperamental. That wasn't perfect. I didn't particularly like that. But you know, no car's perfect.
No, exactly.
Even my favourite car I ever had has stuff I was like, But generally speaking, I absolutely loved that car. It was great on a summer's day. It did have air conditioning, but it was great on a summer's day, coming home from work, bob the roof open. It looked the part. And this is what makes the Corsa number 1 for me. I absolutely love that car. It just has such a character. Me and the Ross, she absolutely loved driving it as well. We had some great times in that car. That was my top 3. I'm going to stop rambling on. I'm going to let one of these chaps take over, or let Martin take.
Shall I go to, let's say, maybe another end of the scale with my top 3? When I was asked this question, I thought, I've had 21 cars. How do I pick 3? But when you start thinking about it and looking through your cars and the experiences you've had with them, you do start to single ones out, and here's my top 3. And number 3 is the one, oddly enough, out of all the 3, if it hadn't have been for the issue we had, I still would have probably had today. and it's an MGZR, a 1.4 MGZR in the burgundy colour, which I am now struggling to place the actual name of the colour.
Yeah.
It wasn't Nightfire Red. I will not bring to mind the actual name of the colour.
I think it might have been Copperleaf.
Could have been.
I'm not sure.
If any of you guys know, let me know.
They had a name for it. I had it from new, I had it from brand new. I remember the collection day I got it because the chap next to me was getting one in the gunmetal colour, and he's got a 5-door and mine was a 3-door, and now to this day I just cannot remember the name of the colour. It was a 1.4, but for the car and what I needed at the time, 1.4 was ample because it was just like a little pocket rocket.
The thing was as well, the 1.4 engine was really, really economical.
Yeah.
It was, and it was a nice revvy engine as well.
Yeah.
I could have some fun with that car. It handled beautifully. It were on 17-inch alloys with all the extra spokes in them. Some might say there was a bit of a cleaning headache, but I enjoy cleaning the cars anyway, so it wasn't for me. I absolutely love that car, and I was gutted when one day I washed the car and I found traces of water dripping onto the dashboard. And I wondered how. I thought something happened with the jet wash, so dried it off, didn't pay much attention. It started happening again, even when it was raining, there were some issues, and I discovered after a bit of trial and error that it was coming from the sunroof. And it wasn't until I actually stepped out of the car and looked, and the sunroof wasn't actually seated flat. If you stood at the front of the car and looked, the sunroof was slightly sat down more than it was at the other side. And I was just on the verge of getting to the dealership, getting it sorted because it was all under warranty, and the crisis with the Rover MG issue started, and they basically would have done it, but I would have had to pay up front for it. They wasn't prepared to do it under warranty because they didn't know where anyone or anything stood at the time. So I quickly, and I believe now rather stupidly, got rid of the car. So that we moved on then, slowly, eventually, to my second car, which we upgraded into power a lot. I turned to a used one, and I saw it at the Ford garage, just passing one day, and I saw this electric orange Focus ST, and it had no number plates on it. I thought someone had already got it, but me being me, went in for the nosy, started wandering around car, and this chap came out, he says, "Can I help you?" And I says, "Well, I'm quite taken with this car, but it looks like it's already sold, you've no plates or anything." And he says, "Oh no," he says, "this came from Manchester." He says, "It's not sold." He says, "The reason why it's no plates on, the chap that traded it in had personalised number plates on." He says, "He's still got his plates." He says, "We just sort the reg everything out and get it all done." He says, "But no, it's still for sale. Do you want to take it for a test drive?"
Fatal question.
Yes I did, and yes I have, and yes I got it. It was actually a 55 plate when they'd sorted everything out. It was 2005.
So it's quite an early ST then.
It was the first ST of that.
Yeah.
After the original, what we used to call an ST170. They gave them numbers then, and then they changed it, and it became just the ST. 2.5 litre engine, Volvo engine, 5-cylinder.
I had that engine in my Mondeo.
It's the sort of car, even if you started it from cold, you had that little burble all the time, and that's why I love it. Made the car did that, and it could shift. It was limited to 150. They said 155. I think about 154 around that range. It was a brilliant car, as Clarkson called it on a certain programme. He called it the Asbo, and the colour was perfect for the nature of the car, electric orange. I discovered you couldn't even get a touch-up pen or anything for it. I went to Alphas and got paint made up for it, and they did a damn good colour match. I had that for a good while, and that car went for other cars, and I had some other cars between, and it was my top car now. And it brought it to this, and there's a little tale behind this how I ended up with it. My dad's old boss, both my dad sadly passed away now, his boss has, but he lives in Willesden, or did live in Willesden. And I used to take my dad there every Sunday, fairly regular, to go see him. Nice drive right through Bradford, all right through Willesden. We passed this garage, Willesden Autos. I'm sorry if I'm advertising, but I have to say the name. And we just shot straight past, and I had to give way for this bus coming along, and I was giving way, as you do. I started looking around, and I clocked this white RS, a Focus RS, a white, and I up on top of the corner bar in front of the showroom. And apparently must have brought it out on the daytime just to show it off, and then on the night put it away.
Yeah.
I saw it, did say no to my dad, went to see his old boss, stayed an hour or so. On the way back I said to dad, I saw a smart car earlier when I was coming on here, and he says, "What, won't you passed?" And I says, "No, this garage, I'll just show you." So we stopped and pulled in, and I went and had a look. 1 week to that day later, I was collecting.
I think the thing
I'm driving it. Don't pass a garage. Don't. I know. And I went in, and first thing I said to the chap, I actually had another ST at the time. It was the newer shape one, and it was an ST3 and a Spirit Blue, it was called. And I had no intentions of changing the car.
No.
And I had a look round it and all that, and the usual thing, he came out to me and all that stuff, telling me about it. And I just said to him, I said, oh no, I said, there's nothing you can do for me with this. I won't be able to afford all this bloody line. Oh, leave it with me. Went through a lot of figures and took it for a test drive. And like I said, a week later, I was sorting everything out with insurance, now I'm going collecting the car. And I were running the car that I was going to on vapours. And the light was on when I left Huddersfield. Now I'm going all the way over to Willesden with vapours in the other car. And I collected this Focus RS. And what a car. It was just the presence of that car on the road.
Yeah.
People that are not really into cars would look at it as if to say, I've never seen one of them before, what's that? Because you didn't see many on the road. Until that day I collected it.
And then they were everywhere.
And the thing is, I drove from Willesden.
Yeah.
I had to stop at Bayleaf Bridge at a petrol station to put some more fuel in it.
Of course you did.
He told me to put a full tank in, but when I looked there was only half a tank, so I went and topped it up. And from getting from Willesden to Bayleaf Bridge, I saw no less than 5 RSs. I hadn't even got back to the street. I'd only got down the road from a garage and a blue one pulled out of a junction, straight in front of me and off. Same again, I saw the one in the ultimate green going the other way and so on. And then I saw another white one that followed me most of my journey home. But the thing that made this car a little bit different is the chap who'd had it before had done some stuff to the car. Not engine-wise or anything, he hadn't tampered with it that way. But he'd done the sort of touches which I say suited the RS and it should have had coming from factory. He acquired some RS 500 alloys, which was the black ones, and he put them on. He'd done the bonnet vents in black, because as you know there was always a standard colour of the car, and they didn't really show up.
No.
And I thought black bonnet vents on the ultimate green and the white one especially suited the car. He did a lot of little cosmetic touches and things like that, and it just made the car a much more presence on the road. It looked the bee's knees, but it was the engine. I mean, it shared the same 2.5 litre engine as the standard ST, the Volvo engine, but it had a new turbo fitted. It had been tweaked. You got 301 brake horsepower out of it, but the fun was, it was all sent to the front wheels. And I know a lot say, well, it's a bit tricky giving it all that power to front wheels, especially when you've got to do your handling and all that, but I think it gave it the car the character it had.
Well, it did have a new diff.
It did. Or they didn't just leave it at that, they didn't do the other tweaks, but it's still...
It would never have coped if it was
it honestly still...
The engine made that car.
It gave you the feeling as... What Ford tried to achieve with that car is they wanted to lift the rally version off the rally stage and plonk it on the road, and they got it as near as damn it. Not just in the looks, but how it handled and the noise and everything with it. And it is the car which I still wish I had. The thing is with that car, it's just how it made you feel. But it sadly had to go. And we got something which we then went on to Motability, and we got something better than for my dad. But if thinking back, I'd have kept the car. I wish I had done. But I'm afraid I'd need a big drive, because I also would have kept the MG ZR. So them two would have been on the drive.
I would have kept a lot of cars that had as well.
But that's my top 3.
That's top 3.
But if someone said to me, out of the top 3, which one only, you could only have one, would you have? It'd take me a long time to decide, because as much as the RS was a bit of a beast of a car, I love the MG ZR. Because the MG ZR gives you massive spoilers, all the tricks and whistles and all that, and that fancy paint colours, you can get the yellow one and all sorts, and give you all that for in a cheaper package. And I think it was just as good.
So that brings us on Martin's top 3.
So that was my top 3.
Malcolm's top 3.
Well, in at number 3 would be the MGTF.
So let me get this right. We've all chosen MG Rebel products as our third choice car.
Yes. Mine would be the TF.
Right.
For the simple reason, it's great, it's fun, but it's not very practical. It's got a pretty big boot, so you could get a weekend stuff. It's not bad. But there's nothing better than basically putting the roof down, and driving.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's something I must do on a bucket list of mine. I must have a convertible.
I've never had it.
Well, one of the things I wanted to do before I died was I wanted to go into Whitby in a two-seater sports car. And on my 40th birthday, that's what we did in the TF.
It's a strange thing to
That's it.
Otherwise, it's one of the things I want to do. But yeah, the TF's there. It's great fun. It does make you feel fantastic when you're in it. It just goes as well. You've got a 1.8 litre engine, 135 brake horsepower, as in the standard. What was the standard before they got a 1.6 out, and it just flies.
Yeah.
Because it's as light as a feather.
It's plenty enough for that car, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, I remember going to Edinburgh in it in the summer of 2012, and it was that point. You remember that really, really wet summer we had here?
Yeah.
We drove up. We left Huddersfield, drove up to Edinburgh. Had this fantastic week there. It was all sunny and glorious. We could hear about all the weather down here, and then we set off on the Friday, and it was absolutely drenched.
Biblical rain.
Yes.
Yeah, I do remember.
That's the point when you realise that at times the handling can be fun.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. We should still have that car. I did have a little accident in it.
How little, Malcolm?
Yeah, most of the front had to be straightened.
Is that why you still wish you had the car? 'Cause you
I actually got it all straightened out. I did it all paid for it all myself.
You did,
So
yeah,
let's get it straightened out. It was all in line. It was perfect. And I got the bits, but I just ran out of money to actually finish restoring the car. And it was stood there for 2 years. It's like I can't keep it there anymore. So it went. Somebody else has got it. It's on sale at the moment. He's doing a full restoration job on it, and good luck with that. I really do hope it comes through.
Yeah, I do.
Because it'd be nice to see it back on.
I can say it reminds me, because we went for a day out in that car with some of the family members to Buxton, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Derbyshire, was it? Yeah. There's a theme here, Malcolm, because I seem to remember that day it didn't stop raining once.
No, then number 2 is the Rover SD1.
We knew it was there somewhere, didn't we?
I thought it was going to be first.
Yeah. I mean, the SD1, the Rover 75 is nice, big and comfortable. Compared to the SD1, it's like driving a Mark 1 Ford Fiesta. The SD1 really was that comfortable. It was literally like being in a 70-mile-an-hour armchair. And you've got these huge seats that you sink into. You've got power steering that's literally, you can turn it lock to lock with your little finger.
Yeah.
And you're talking over a ton of car.
I've been a passenger in one of them once, and it was so luxurious. You could just sort of just flop in the seats. And You had to believe what you were in, actually.
But I would get the Series 2 rather than the Series 1. The Series 2 coming out around about the wire edge time. Because the Series 1 was the one with the short dash going across, and the Series 2 had the longer dash going across. Generally the paintwork was better. They had more depth to the paint as well. So you had better paint options. The yellow in the Mark 1 was awful.
I remember that. I was thinking that. When I think of a Mark 1 SD1, that's the colour I think of.
It just comes out that yellow colour, doesn't it?
Having said that, the one car I've never driven in the SD1 series, and I really do want to drive one, is a V8. I've never driven the diesel. I don't care about the diesel. But I had the 2 litre 0 series, which ironically used to accelerate better than the 2.3 and the 2.6.
Right.
Yeah.
But the 2.3 and 2.6 were detuned, so they made the V8 look better.
You can't take shine off the V8, can you?
But when you actually took out Rover's detuning on the 2.3, the straight 6 ones, the 2.3 and 2.6, they would fly.
A couple of facts I'd like to know about the SD1, Malcolm. Was the diesel version Rover's first ever diesel car? Because it must have been pretty close.
No, it wasn't actually Rover's first ever diesel car, but I think it was Rover's first released diesel car.
Right, so it's the first one that you could buy.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it was 2.4, wasn't it, something like that?
Yeah, it was 2400.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to know was, I've heard, and I'm going to sound really thick here, because I'm not mechanically minded, as you'll find out. Rover SD1 V8s, I've heard of one called a twin plenum.
Yes, the twin plenum.
Is there 2 different versions of a V8?
Yes, there was the VTES, which had a single plenum chamber for the fuel to go in.
Yeah.
And then there was what is effectively the ultimate car, which is the twin plenum VTES. And it had a different chin spoiler underneath.
Yeah.
It had 2 plenum chambers. The air intake was redesigned by Lotus.
Right.
And there are a few other tweaks as well. Now, if you actually look for the twin plenum VTES on Google, you will find I think it was the Autocar. Autocar actually owned one for a while. It's a red one.
Yeah.
And they do a write-up of it. And even then, at that point, the SD1 had been out of production for such a long time, but it still stood up against many of the cars.
Yeah.
And if you really, really want something special, the twin plenum VTES is the one to go for.
There you go. That's answered that question.
You'd have another one now, would you?
I would have another one tomorrow.
I've never been in an SD1. It's something I'd love to do. So
Put it on your bucket list.
it's trying to get hold of one. It's the
I've been one and I do like
Now,
that.
But any idea what my number one would be then?
Well, should I guess, Mark?
This really throws me now because as creators we thought the SD1 would have been his number one.
I was absolutely convinced it'd be this.
I can't really get it now because he's mentioned his TF, he's mentioned his SD1,
And it's not the Zara.
and it's neither there, and he's just now said it's not.
Alright, I'll tell you what. Is it a British car?
No.
I know what it is, but I'm not going to tell the viewers.
No, I'll let Malcolm explain it, but I think I might have a guess that he's mentioned it in the past. It's not a Citroen.
I'm not an idiot if I'm wrong, but
Did I guess?
I'm going to guess Citroen C5.
No.
No, he's a right curveball. He's done a rope-a-dope. He's shown us,
hasn't he? You know, Max, you mentioned the C5 earlier, and I thought, here we go.
This is what he's done it on purpose. Go on, you will now have to tell us Malcolm.
C5 is nice because it was actually slightly bigger than the SD1 and incredibly comfortable, really good brake.
I'm going to say, quick mention about your C5.
Yeah.
Was your C5 on the first in the UK?
Yes.
Because it was owned, if I remember rightly, by Citroen UK.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Really?
Yeah. And it was on a wire edge 2001, which they were very first launched over
Yeah.
there, wasn't it?
And it had the factory fitted sat nav. That is not my car.
So that's not the top one. So,
the
drum roll.
Audi Coupe GT.
An Audi?
I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
I wasn't. No, that stopped my drum roll as well. I wasn't expecting
5-cylinder canted engine.
that. Yeah.
I believe it's 2 litre. I can't remember the engine size.
It's over 2.3 with it.
Yeah, it might have been.
2.2.
And it flew. I mean, it was the only car I've ever had where you sit on the motorway at 70 mile an hour in 5th gear, somebody comes up behind you flashing the lights, and you just put your foot down and you're back in the
Now
seat.
you see, this will be the same. Going back to my top car, the RS.
Yeah.
When I used to come out of work, and I'd be going on a certain road. I was doing on a certain road, and I got it into 6th gear, and I could be doing 30 in 6. And then I could just think, right, I will overtake this away, I'll just settle, and I used to just bang my foot down, I didn't have to change down, and you just went into back to the seat and you were up.
The thing is as well, I remember sitting in one ages, before I got my first car, and I was sat in the back, and you look at the coupe look, and you think, it's going to be cramped in the back now. It's like cavernous. And you're sat in the back, and you're looking at the front, and it's like the dash is miles away from you.
Yeah.
And the boot, even though it was a notched boot, it was really, really accessible. The one thing I will say about it though is you've got this like foam wing on the back.
Yes, I remember one.
And it's quite heavy. But the doors were big, so it was accessible, you know, for everybody, even though it was only a 2-door. And the look. I mean, you remember the Quattro when it came out?
Yes, this is the thing. Yeah, I love the look of that. Yeah.
And you know, you've got that look, obviously without the flared arches. But it was amazing. It was an absolutely amazing car. And I'd have another one of them, except for one tiny, tiny little issue. I had a quick look on Auto Trader. There was one. £9,920. And it's like, yeah, I'd have another one. I'd have another one tomorrow.
If you had 10 grand.
If I had 10 grand. Yeah, lottery. But absolutely loved the car. It handles ridiculously well.
What year was that? What we call that now?
That was an X-Reg.
2000.
2000, didn't it, X-Reg?
No, you're about the old X-Reg.
The old X-Reg,
1981, something
like that,
yeah.
So the gauges on the bottom telling you your oil pressure,
Them's the things I like to see about the RS. You had the extra gauges and things like that.
It would shift. It was a strange thing, yeah. It was ridiculously quick.
Do you know what I think that's a bit funny here is that your top car is a Focus RS. Your top car is an Audi Quattro, is it?
No, it wasn't the Quattro. It was a GT coupe.
Okay. And mine was a Vauxhall Cross.
Now we're going to move on to something which we found at NK, which is a little bit of a blast of the past, isn't it?
It is.
We found
school days.
It does. We found an unbelievably little tasty car, a little pocket rocket, and it's a 205 GTI, isn't it, guys?
It is.
And what a car it was.
This was the 1.6 version, wasn't it?
I will stress before the video, it is a 1.6, even so some people might spot the 1.9 alloy wheels on it. But it is a 1.6, and it's a lovely car. Been well done, and
I'm going to say this has had a bit of work, this car, hasn't it? It's had a bit of restoration.
it has.
Yeah.
As you'll see in this video, it brought back some memories of the 80s, let's say.
Yes.
So
Yes, it's actually about the same age as me, this car.
yeah, it's on Italy.
I'm from early 1988, and so is this one. But the car's in better nick than me, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was absolutely stunning in terms of conditions. It's had a full restoration.
Yeah.
The paintwork's spot on.
Oh, it is, yeah.
It's basically exactly how it would have looked 30 years ago, 31 years ago.
So for any of you guys that's ever owned one, remember one, or wanted one, and would like to see one, here comes a video, and you'll enjoy this.
With recent interest in modern classics, one appeared at the NK Prestige Motors, so I sent our likely lads to go and have a look to see what all the fuss is about.
Greyish plastics going on, but they were the nature of it.
This was how cars were.
I remember my first car, a Vauxhall Nova, had things exactly the same going on like this.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's just one of those little pocket rockets in it, and
It is.
it's lightweight nature helped it a bit. On the roads, it looked like a right.
Well, the 205. I mean, there's not a lot we can say about their sort of handling of the 205s, as has been said a million times before. It was legendary.
Well, this was the days when Peugeot was making good hot hatches, and they weren't stuck as they were into the 90s of dreary boxes and people carriers and that.
But yeah, this is, of course, like I said, is the 1.6 version. You can get a 1.9.
Well, the sought after one was a 1.9.
Yeah, and still is really. Although any GTI in good condition these days is pretty sought after.
So we do have the wheels on the outside from a 1.9, aren't they?
The wheels on this car are from the 1.9. They've been fully refurbished as is the rest of the car. Yeah, it's just a fantastic place to be and something a bit different for the channel.
So here we have the manually operated factory sunroof. I won't open it at this point because it's raining outside. But it all looks nice and neat.
Oh, I just got splattered.
Well, what I did notice is when I put my fingers in here and went...
Is it swimming? Yes, it's swimming.
That's what I got. I hate to think it, but if we all get out of the car and I'll open it, it might just go...
That to me looks like an aftermarket sunroof.
That to me looks like it's not... How does it actually work? Oh, is it working?
So it's moving. Yeah, we're going up. Yeah, we're up.
See, this is a worry. It is just a flat piece of glass. Oh, it does work. Okay, right. Oh, wait a minute. Well, it only goes so far, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's aftermarket. I don't think they did that from the factory.
Yeah, it has. It's sort of gathered. Because the idea is great of having a sunroof like that, isn't it?
It's interior wise really original, as you'd expect from from a car.
Do you know what? I like the size of the steering wheel though. We've seen some modern cars out. The cars I've said the steering wheels look small, but yet that looks in proportion as that one.
It suits the rest of the car, no doubt.
And with no gadgets going on.
Absolutely nothing. You've got no power steering. You've got no airbag, no buttons on the steering wheel.
Basically, just here it is.
Yeah.
But I've noticed one thing. Things like these stalks are just in the mirrors. Look at the size of them.
They are pretty big, aren't they? We've got manual mirrors.
Marker pens. Massive, but yet the mirrors on the outside are small.
Manual mirrors, manual windows. It is back to basics.
And they're actually solid metal. They're not plastic or anything. They are.
They are.
That's funny, that.
Do have a 5-speed manual gearbox, of course, which actually, back in 1988, when the car was built, was a pretty big deal to have a 5-speed gearbox.
Yes, because I had an Nova and it only a 4-speed. So having a 5-speed really showed that more of a sporty going on, didn't it?
Yeah.
Hence for the GTI.
Yeah.
I can't get over the carpets and everything, and now it's all red. It's all very royal and plush.
I think it adds a bit of splash of colour to an interior that a lot of modern cars are missing. I think it's probably
Do you know
fair
what it
to
does?
say.
Because we can't get away from the fact the dash is a bit greyish, but telling nature of plastic as well. But it's like I say, even though this striping is in actual material stuff on the door cards and stuff, and then it goes down to the proper colour. It continues right down to the footwells. It's not a little bad place to be.
No.
These seats are
very comfortable, actually, aren't they?
I can imagine if you're going over bumps on roads, you sort of just go with it in these seats because you just... It's so comfy, I can't get over it. You know, like when you go on in the comfy slippers.
It's actually very... They've got just enough support as well, without being too sort of bucket-like.
Is that an ashtray thing we've got there, or storage?
A bit of storage down there as well. Yeah.
Oh, actually, it must be storage because that is his ashtray.
That is the ashtray. Those you can tell this is a car from 30 years ago.
I remember that one with Puma, you see, proper ciggy lighter.
Yeah.
And you got we've only got 3 buttons here. Obviously, it looks like fog lights, rear heated screen, and your hazard.
And a digital clock. That is definitely from the 80s.
Digital. Everything we're going GTI and digital. Yeah.
You've seen all the outside shots of the car as well, as is evident from that, it is in immaculate condition. You can certainly tell it's been restored.
I always thought that when Peugeot at the best during the GTI.
Agreed. It will never happen again. You'll never see a car like this built anymore.
Maybe this one of the little Concorde moments.
Due to safety and emissions regulations and all the rest of it. But I completely agree with Martin on this. This, is, to me, is Peugeot at the very best. And that's evident now from the values of these cars. The ones that are still around are absolutely going through the roof. So you can see why. So to summarise, brilliant. We absolutely love this car.
Enjoyed a little sit in this car. Brought back some memories of cars of this age. It really did.
Certainly something different for us, and we'll certainly hope and try and get some more of this sort of content on the channel. These sort of cars in the future. Let us know, and we'll take.
Yeah, there may be people out there that's got some of these. I used to like the black one as well, the colour of the black one.
Modern classics, I'm certainly a fan of, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are as well, so let us know. But from us on the 205 GTI,
in this very stormy weather, we'll catch you later.
Cheers. Bye.
That was the 205 GTI 1.6, and one thing that you may have noticed in the video was the sunroof. One thing you didn't spot was when we were doing the drive, there's a point where we went round and turned around. So these guys went round in my car, and as I'm going out of shot, you can see me turn the corner, and there's a look of horror on my face. The water that had built up came out through the handle that you wind the window with, straight onto my trousers and onto the drivers.
Malcolm got an impromptu shower.
Actually, it wasn't more like an impromptu shower, it looked like I'd wet myself.
Which me and Martin found extremely amusing when he got back to OK.
We thought, we knew the drive was exciting, was it?
But no, we should point out, this is probably due to the fact this car has an aftermarket summary from the car.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
which was quite popular.
Yeah, it was. Having said that, though, this is something that would be a project car for somebody anyway.
Would make an ideal project car.
It's a sort of car that an enthusiast would have and would restore. It's in immaculate condition, and it's probably just a case of replacing the seal around the sunroof.
Yeah, I mean, anyone
they're
getting that
working
car,
on
they're more than halfway there to having that car mint, aren't they?
But the thing is, if you're looking at a car that age anyway with a sunroof, you're going to have that problem unless somebody's actually redone the seals.
Yeah, it's not a big.
It's not a big thing.
It's not. It's
And
not
to be
big.
fair, the capture area did keep it.
Yeah,
it's just
it
the fact
did,
it came through the...
It was only when he was driving.
Kept it until filming, so he could be surprised when he took a corner.
Yeah, I was.
They say the GTI is the surprise of your life. He didn't expect one.
But no, it was good, and
it was a good one.
it was nice one to see. Like I said, we don't come across many vehicles like that, especially that we can get access to filming.
Especially not in that condition as well.
Yeah. So it was a good one to do with that. Certainly brought me back to my childhood a bit when you saw 205s and things like that around all over the place.
You did see a lot of them at one point, didn't you? Yeah.
Generally speaking, a nice episode to film that. We had some really different stuff, but then again, that's what we try and do for you guys. We try and bring in lots of as much variety as we possibly can. Really.
I think the thing with the videos, the point we're making is we will film anything car related.
Yeah.
We're not aiming for the high performance cars and everything fancy and flash. It can be
there's a lot of YouTubers out there who do supercars like that and do an extremely good job of doing it. We're just trying to go on a different take on things, aren't we? We'll film cheap cars, expensive cars, fast cars, slow cars. It really doesn't matter, does it? No. It's the variety that we all enjoy, I think, really, isn't it?
As they say, it's the spice of life, variety. So.
They say
Don't know where I heard that. Probably read it on I don't know, Have a Cracker or something.
yes, it was. Any more thoughts on episode 14, Mark?
No, not really. It's been quite a nice one to do.
It's been a good one to kick off, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We've got something lined up for 15 already.
We have.
And a couple of potential features to go in for 15 and 16. So yeah.
We have. I will just mention we have one which has been reminded to me, which was supposed to be in for last year when we have good weather, if we get a good summer. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I've been reminded of it again, that we can film it.
Also, obviously, episode 15, the layout of that has not been completely formalised yet, but we do have a couple of things in the pipeline. One of which, I won't tell you what car it is, but all I'll say is if you do like four-wheel drives, you'll like this. Didn't remember that one, Martin? And yeah, so it should be a nice one to do. I said it's not totally formalised yet, but we're working on that, aren't we?
Yeah, it's working.
That's some good stuff for you for episode 15. Any final thoughts, Martin?
No, I think we've had a nice episode for the first one kicking off this year, haven't we?
Yeah.
I think we were at a point where we thought, what should we get, and it all just came together, as it always seems to do.
Sometimes we do wonder about things for a while, and it always does just seem to come together at the last minute, doesn't it?
Something always comes out of the woodwork.
So yeah, I think that's...
Should be a bit easier now we're back to portable editing.
So you can see how that just went over me and Martin's head completely, and Malcolm knew what he was talking about, and we didn't have a foggy.
Better wrap up then?
Yeah, I think, Mark said better up. I think that pretty much does it for episode 14.
It certainly does. We are sort of getting through these now. I had a quick look back actually of the year gone by and all that, and now we were into single figures of episodes, and now we never even thought we'd get to 10 and hit double figures, and here we are now. It's all thanks to you guys that watch us videos, take any time to comment and everything. We will continue doing it for your pleasure as well as ours. We always will.
We enjoy doing it as much as you enjoy watching them.
We do, and
it's really good.
We just get bigger and better. That's all we can hope for.
Well, that's what we're doing. We're aiming to make the channel bigger and better, and obviously keep an eye on the website as well, overdrive.online.co.uk. We shall. Malcolm keeps updating that and with features and motoring news, so keep an eye out for that. But that pretty much brings us to the end of episode 14.
Yes, we're going to start rambling.
Hope you enjoy it. It's bye from me, And
It is, it's good bike from me once again, and I've just been sprayed with an air freshener.
And Malcolm's already working on so that's it. So I hope you enjoy. We'll see you in episode 15.
We will, with plenty more cars and discussions maybe and all sorts of things going on, but we will see you in 15.
We will. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
We will see you in 15.
We will. Take care.
Thank you. Bye. Shit is that? I'll be going out smelling the forest fresh.
That's a lot to stick on the end.
I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay, I smell the forest fresh now.